But if you're in Alabama, I don't know if there's a better team you could have played the week before Missouri than Vanderbilt. Because Vanderbilt does a lot of the same thing.
There's some
Missouri
similarities.
You saw a couple plays Vandy hit earlier, but they shut that down because they're fundamental in their pass rush and they're fundamental in your run-stopping ability. I think Alabama has to approach that in the same way.
Alabama at Missouri. You know what? Who'd have thought that two of the biggest games, I mean, we know Alabama-Georgia is always huge. We know Alabama-LSU is always huge. Obviously, the Iron Bowl is huge. But the last 2 weeks, because we've got at Missouri coming up for Alabama, who'd have thought that Vanderbilt at home would have game day and Alabama at Missouri would have these humongous implications for the SEC? Because Missouri's a damn good football.
Oh, yeah.
I just think it's amazing that it seems like every week now there is just a massive game with Alabama against an opponent that isn't normally a massive
Well, that's
matchup.
great for the sport.
It's great for the sport.
How healthy is that for the long-term
It's
nature
huge.
of college football, man?
It's huge. And Blaine, I'm going to be honest with you, the more I look at Missouri, not just schematically, but personnel-wise, they just look like a better version of Vandy. Like, I think Vandy does some really good things on defense to mitigate their lack of depth and overall athleticism, but Missouri has depth and has athleticism. Then offensively, it's a lot of this.
Yeah.
Side to side. I mean, hell, Drink's going to run outside. It's the race to stop outside zone when you play Missouri because they've got two backs that can do it. They've got a quarterback that can run it. But Alabama's good enough to stop them on defense.
Sure,
It's just, God, Hardy's a player.
No, yeah, they're Vandy, but with a lot more NFL talent.
Yeah.
I believe
It's a good way to put it.
And not only, I mean, do we believe that, the public believes that as well. I mean, this game opened up at -5.5 Alabama. Right now, already it's sitting -2.5.
Oh, my
Alabama,
God.
and the
Wow.
money is still laying Missouri at -115.
Do you think it'll go back up to 3.5 or should I buy a point right now?
I wouldn't be surprised when this game kicks off that Missouri is a -1.5 point favorite.
I
would not be surprised by this.
But when you look around all of college football, and again, Alabama beat Vanderbilt. That was a good win. They beat Georgia. Obviously, that's a great win. But really, outside of Miami, and I think we can have a logical argument with maybe a couple other teams. Nobody's looked just so dominant that you're like, they're going to go in there, and even though they're playing a good team, even though they're on the road, they're going to get their ass beat. And I believe this game's at 11.
It's 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock, this one, which to me favors the road team.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'm trying to be careful of is because I thought Missouri would take a step back after losing so much talent this past year, the fact that they haven't done that, I'm trying to restrain from just saying, from doubling down basically and saying, okay, now I need to go the other way and say Missouri's going to win all the rest of their football games. Obviously, you just have to approach each one of these matchups as rationally as possible. I'm glad you brought up Ahmad Hardy because who would want to tackle that guy right
Is he the best running back in college football? I think he's the best running back in college football.
I think Justice Haynes has a case to make too.
Well, you can make a case for Justice. You can make a case, I think, for Jonah Coleman
I just think
at Washington
Jeremiah
too.
Love's the best running back.
Jeremiah Love, obviously, he's going to be the top of mind for everybody. But I think there's
Ahmad
some
Hardy's
people,
the least I would want to tackle.
Yeah, but how many more people have watched Notre Dame than Missouri?
Do we count?
I think people who haven't watched Missouri, when this guy gets on, and look, Robertson's a dog too. The backup,
two
right?
of them, yeah.
They got two of them. But I think Ahmad Hardy may be the best running back in the country.
It's just where do you rank Caden Proctor? You're talking about a guy you don't want to tackle.
Skill player.
Well,
Yeah, he's a skill player.
Skill
I'm not worried about Caden going 70. I'm worried about that
Catching
7
now
yards.
strings. He's lining
gonna
up at running back.
But schematically, if let's start on the Alabama side defensively.
Mm-hmm.
You know that this offense is run through outside zone, actions off of outside zone looks. They like to move Prabula around. He's great in boot action and things like that. Quarterback run game. If I'm Alabama, and even though, and I want to make sure this doesn't get taken as a shot at Bo Prabula because I'm so impressed with what he's done and the way Drink's developed him, he can beat you from the pocket. But to me, you have got to make Missouri beat you from the pocket through the air. Because if they get that run game going, especially early, and those offensive linemen start taking that wide step on outside zone and they're able to get and work up off combinations and things, the whole field is open. And Drink does a great job of showing you this way, leaking the tight end that way, and spitting it.
But if you're in Alabama, I mean, I don't know if there's a better team you could have played the week before Missouri than Vanderbilt. Because Vanderbilt does a lot of the same thing.
There's some
Missouri
similarities
does.
in there.
A lot of eye candy, a lot of reads. They want to get Diego Pavia out of the pocket. There's a dual threat quarterback. And the thing about you play Missouri and Alabama did this so well in the second half, it's gap integrity. You saw a couple plays Vandy hit earlier, but they shut that down because they're fundamental in their pass rush and they're fundamental in your run stopping ability. I think Alabama has to approach that in the same way. My big thing in this game is Bo Prabula. Is he ready for the moment, right? We've learned Ty Simpson's ready.
Yeah.
He's ready to go. Hell, he's so ready, you put 2 minutes on the clock with no timeouts, you can guarantee Alabama to go down and score 6 points at Georgia on the road. I know Ty Simpson's ready. Is Bo, because Missouri has all the pieces. Coleman, dog. Ahmad, dog. Can Bo Prabula step up to the plate when the lights are the brightest and go toe-to-toe with Ty Simpson?
Well, he has the talent to. And Drink and this offensive system is a perfect, we talked about how perfect of a fit Tim Beck's system is for Diego Pavia. This is a perfect fit for Bo Prabula. My question isn't as much, can he do it if everything is working? But if the run game is not as efficient as it has been, can Bo Prabula throw Missouri to a win? Because I think Missouri's defense is going to play well. They're going to give up some points because of the talent that Alabama has. Now, is that 27 or is that 17? Is that 34 or is that 24? Like, that's what I'm interested to see on defense. But if, let's say, it's somewhere in the middle and Missouri plays well on defense, Alabama plays pretty decent on offense, and Alabama stifles that run game that has just been so successful for Missouri, can Bo Prabula say, all right, we're going to live in 3rd and 7, but I got us not only throwing, but taking off and running. That's what we got to see.
No, they have to run the football effectively, and I think they can. And you were talking about the run fits. It's actually my biggest criticism right now of Alabama is on the defensive side, and it's their run fits from the secondary. Now, they did figure it out in the second half a bit, like you were talking about, but getting hit for that 65-yarder, some of the runs that even Pavia had, like they were misalignments and poor run fits, particularly from their secondary. That is going to rear its head again against a Missouri team that can get going with a lot of that eye motion, a lot of the stuff that Hugh Freeze does, honestly, at Auburn. That was offset, though, by creating turnovers, which is a big reason why they were able to put Vanderbilt away. And obviously, like, having Tim Keenan back is obviously huge up there up front, but I don't know if that's a dominant enough. He's not dominant enough by himself to not have the secondary be able to run.
And this is a game where Quay Russaw being out for basically the rest of the season is really a tough blow for Alabama, because he's so versatile in what he can do against a team that wants to stretch you to the perimeter, because obviously you don't have to be a football savant to realize that your gap scheme, your power and counter, while there's some movement, is typically meant to hit up inside unless it gets spilled. Missouri is trying to beat you from outside in the run game, which is a little bit different because the track's different and the angles are different. And your ability at linebacker to be able to have a wrong step or a false step on an interior run, you can get away with it. In the back end and at linebacker, when you're facing exterior or perimeter runs, you're not going to get away with it because you have to travel further. Guys, it's actually the 1-year anniversary of my mother-in-law's unfortunate passing. But I tell you, Reed, my wife, was her only child, and she took care of everything she needed to take care of, which, you know, again, mourning the loss of someone is terrible, but getting your affairs in order, it's a huge deal, and we're so thankful that she did that. And it's something that, you know, everybody needs to do. And that's where our friends over at Ethos come in. They're an online platform that make getting life insurance fast and easy to protect your family's future in minutes, not months. They've made getting life insurance easier than ever before with their streamlined 100% online process. Their flexible coverage allows you to protect your family with up to $3 million in coverage, with some policies starting as low as $2 per day when billed monthly, making comprehensive life insurance accessible and affordable. Talk about peace of mind. That's it right there. No wonder 3 million families have completed their applications with Ethos that they trust to help them find the right coverage. So protect your family with life insurance. Get your free quote at ethos.com/booster. That's ethos.com/booster. But on Alabama's offensive side, because a bunch of people are obviously going to be talking about Missouri's offense versus Alabama's defense, what I thought was the most impressive about what they did last week, they were at home, but when they went on the road against Georgia, was the discipline in penalties, the discipline in not compounding mistakes with another mistake. They're going to have to go and play disciplined and smart on the road against Missouri, because this isn't a game where if they go play stupid and revert back to what we saw last year at points than against Florida State, that you can get away with it, even if you play well besides the mistakes. You're not just going to go over there and roll over Missouri regardless. Can this Alabama team, Blaine, be disciplined, be smart again on the road? Because that's starting to become the pattern now for Kalen DeBoer in Alabama. And there's another point I want to get to with you about the red zone in Alabama. But first, just your thoughts on, can they stay disciplined?
I mean, you would think so. I mean, you go through the past 2 weeks, they have 7 total penalties.
Yeah.
Which is huge. And I think 1 turnover. If Alabama plays clean, they play discipline with the talent that they have, they can beat anybody in the country. And obviously, look, Missouri, I don't care if it's 11 o'clock or at 5 in the morning, that stadium's going to be rocked.
Oh, it's going to be nuts.
It's going to be packed
For
out.
sure.
But I go back to this. I think it starts with Kalen DeBoer, but Ty Simpson's leadership on the offensive side of the ball at the quarterback position. And I really saw it when Ryan Williams dropped that ball. He was the first guy there on the bench, hype him up. Hey, we're going to go get the next one. If he can do that, I'm telling you, Alabama is in a very good place. And he's more outspoken than Jalen Milroe was, right? You can see Ty on the field getting guys right, off the field getting guys right. I'm telling you, you can put trust in that, and you can put confidence in that. I mean, I would trust him to drive my boat, be captain of my ship.
Are you starting to agree with my Kirk Cousins Michigan State comparison?
Ty Simpson?
When you watch him play?
I mean, I think I think he's more mobile than Kirk Cousins.
Well, no, go back to Michigan State with Kirk Cousins. Like, Kirk is moving.
Like Ty is like legitimately running like a 4.5, 4.6.
I think
Cousins is never ran that in his time.
I don't know.
What?
Look,
He was faster than me.
Look, Kirk, again, that's young Kirk. That's young Kirk versus old Kirk in the NFL. And something about the NFL just tends to make you not run as much at quarterback.
I don't think Kirk Cousins got recruited as a dual threat quarterback.
I don't know. He shops at TJ Maxx. David, when you look at Alabama, and this is one of the things I had some Alabama fans that are friends of mine message me after our reaction we did to the Alabama game. And they're like, you guys were spot on about getting too cute as you get closer to the end zone with the play calling with Ryan Grubb. If you can line up and run the ball successfully, like Alabama was doing against Vanderbilt, and you're now on the road, and it's 3rd and 2 or it's 4th and 1, you probably need to run the ball. Yeah. Like, is that something? Because Ryan Grubb is fixed. Like, we look at the problems, the Florida State game, this, that, and the other. It seems like they're fixing things as they're going, and that's helping Ty out. It's helping out the efficiency of the offense. You can't go in there and try and have a beauty pageant in the red zone against Missouri. Are you going to keep them in the game or lose the game?
And this is the paradox of play calling. If you call what you're quote-unquote supposed to, like I watched Mike Bobo do for years and years with Georgia,
and it not
criticize you that you're too vanilla and you need to think outside the box. You do what Ryan Grubb's doing a little bit right now, where you think outside the box and you throw Caden Proctor now screens and give him the football at running back, and you have triple reverses to Ryan Williams at 75 yards. You get criticized sometimes for being too cute, even though that hasn't bit Alabama in the behind just yet. That's only going to be a criticism if you do it in a critical moment and it doesn't work. I think right now, Ty Simpson's ability to deliver the football through the air, even in the scramble drill, the RPO game, his accuracy is what's blowing me away. That's what I'm concentrating more and more on right now with Alabama's offense, particularly getting Jam Miller back, and like you guys were talking about
it's been huge
in pass protection, not just toting the rock. And another thing that I want to talk about, even with, I was talking about the poor run fits from the secondary on defense. Another thing to consider if you don't offset that with turnovers is, are you giving up home runs on that? Because remember, they gave up over 227 yards to Georgia on the ground. But again, if those aren't home run shots and you're able to hold up well in the red zone, this is something that I'm seeing Michigan do right now. Michigan's defense will give up big plays, but they hold up strong, right, bend but don't break in the red zone. Unfortunately for you against Missouri, Hardy's the type who will make you pay for those.
Well, to quote one of my favorite head coaches I ever worked for when it comes to bend but don't break defenses, he used to say, I don't like bending.
Yeah.
So let's just not do that. Let's not choose to do. I always love how they put it as like a choice. They're like, man, the defensive coordinator, he's deciding to run some bend but don't break defense. Nah, brother, you never go to a play and be like, hey, give him 15 on this one.
Well, the bigger thing that I'm seeing right now, to that point, kind of just holistically from Alabama, is a team that's getting better week by week, which you have to do in this era of college football. There's no more really going undefeated or, not having a single loss. Look what the Buckeyes did a year going 10-2, and then they go on this incredible run in the college football playoff. Can you develop every single week? I think we're looking at a program that got hit right in the face by Florida State, who won 2 games a year ago.
In front of everybody.
They threw a perfect game. Thomas Castellanos threw a perfect game. Alabama wasn't ready for it. They didn't think they were going to get hit in the face. They had a little bit of quit in them towards the end of that game, laughing as your opponent's taking a knee. They got criticized rightfully for that. I think that entered Malmore Fieldhouse, and they heard some of that criticism, and they've responded accordingly.
Embarrassment's the best fuel that there is, 100%, really, in anything. Last thing, Blaine, I can feel the Alabama fans in the comments. Well, you got gashed by Kansas early in that game. Who is Missouri beaten? And you go through their schedule, it's legitimate. This will be the best team that Missouri has played. The last time they had a big game at home, Kansas scored what in the first half? 23?
23, maybe.
In the first quarter, something like that. Then they cut off the bat. You can't do that against Alabama, and Alabama's battle-tested. That's what makes it so interesting.
Well, that's why I think it's so huge, this game being at Missouri.
Yeah.
Right? Like, being at home is going to obviously make a lot of things easier. But I will say this, if you watch Missouri football, you can tell that they have guys to compete with.
Yeah, and nobody's doubting that, but it's a fair point.
No, for sure. But what it's going to come down to, I've never really questioned the skill positions when it came to Missouri and Eli Drinkwitz coach football team, because they always got a couple guys. Can Missouri compete up front?
Yeah.
On both sides of the ball, especially on the offensive line.
Well, that's where that outside zone helps you.
Yeah, I do. I don't know. There's the same thing with Georgia when it comes to Alabama. There's not that huge name when it comes to Alabama, the defensive line, but guys are starting to come along. LT Overton's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, he's a problem. He's a difference maker, and he can be a game wrecker.
He made that game-saving tackle.
Yeah, so
against
watch for
Georgia.
guys like that, especially on the outside zone stuff, just establishing that edge, right? If you're Alabama, they have a couple guys. So it's going to come down to up front for Missouri on both sides.
It's a fantastic matchup. We cannot wait for it. In the comments, we want to know your prediction. Give us your score. It's at 11 o'clock. It's an early game. You want to talk about kicking off an amazing slate with some amazing early games. This is one of them. Let us know. Make sure you're subscribed. We appreciate you.